Indeed.
Indeed.
Yes.
Darkspawn, slay them all! You cannot win!
Shall be done. It has begun.
You forced our hand!
Best be wary. Most excellent.
Our Lehman sends his regards, Warden. We're trying to keep the roads clear and safe.
Big battle out by Winter's Breath, I hear.
So it seems. I got a cousin in Ban Farron's army, too. Haven't heard if he's alive yet or not.
Probably not. Terran Logain carved through him like a hot knife, I hear.
That isn't good news. Poor sods.
Did you know Andros's ashes have been found here in Ferelden too?
Mother Vorlin said that's just some hoax.
Mother Vorlin is a half-blind old cow. Everyone knows Andros came from Ferelden. It makes sense they'd bring her ashes back here.
Those ashes are so old they'd be dust by now. I don't believe any of it.
Hear about the Sunday marriage. Bastard from Redcliffe, I hear. We're supposed to be impressed.
If our Lehman's standing up for him, I'd say we should be.
I don't know why our Lehman is complicating things. I thought he would calm all this fighting down, not make everyone even more upset.
Maybe what he says is true. You ever think of that?
I didn't get into this business to sit on my goods. They need a king to decide who buys clothes? This is ridiculous.
I imagine you have already composed a suitable ballad to commemorate the events at Redcliffe, Leliana.
Why would I do such a thing?
You have taken up your instruments once again, have you not? So to speak. A bard takes events of great import and puts them to tale.
What happened at Redcliffe was horrible. So many people died, and they were violated by unimaginable evil forces.
That was not so difficult, was it? You may wish to add music, however.
You make it sound as if you enjoyed what happened there. I can barely stomach to think of it.
But we were successful in the end. Victory without cost has little worth.
I just think of what that poor little boy went through. No, I don't want to glorify what happened there.
Then who will learn from these events? I would think on it some more, were I you.
Oh, you wish to talk to me? Truly, it's a courtesy for one so well-armed to notice a lowly merchant. Someone has to. Trade with other races can dry up. We surfacers are Orzamar's lifeline, even if we're denied a caste. The Assembly says we've turned our back on the stone. but they still use the goods we bring. Hypocrites.
That's not right. Someone should do something.
Maybe it'll change by the time my children are grown. Twice a year, I'm confined to a trade stall in the Commons, but I see enough. It's very closed in. My grandfather says I've lost my stone sense. I was born topside. I don't remember having it. Best of luck to you.
My goods are just rotting on their doorstep. I won't just stand here and take this.
The assembly is deadlocked. No one knows when they'll reopen the city.
How long? Someone get them to tell me how long, because this is ridiculous.
They say no one goes in or out until the assembly speaks.
You know what the Regent reminds me of, the way he's acting?
What?
The Orlesians. Pap always said they were tyrants and needed a good boot.
I wouldn't say that out loud. Call Loghain an Orlesian, and you're asking for a trip to the dungeon.
Surface silks, half price.
How are we supposed to live like this? I have buyers waiting.
May the ancestors protect us all.
I paid a ransom for a trade permit. They can't do this. How am I supposed to live with no crafts to sell? I'll be ruined. My sister lives down there. I hear there's fighting in the streets.
I go where the work is, and it isn't here. They wait too long, trade won't come back. That's the way this works. I go where the work is, and it isn't here.
King Loghain will not suffer the delay of his appointed messenger.
Vieta! This land is held in trust for the sovereign Dwarven kings. I cannot allow entry at this time.
King Loghain demands the allegiance of the Desher, or lords, or whatever you call them in your assembly. I am his appointed messenger.
I don't care if you're the king's wiper. Orzammar will have none but its own until our throne is settled.
They hide because they are dwarves.
I would challenge any race to fare as well. Our king is dead. Endrunaidukan returned to the stone not 3 weeks ago. The assembly has gone through a dozen votes without agreeing on a successor. If it is not settled soon, we risk a civil war.
Wait, who are you to speak for Ferelden? You're no messenger to Loghain, that's for certain.
Thank the ancestors.
The Wardens killed King Cailan and nearly doomed Ferelden. They're sworn enemies of King Loghain.
Well, that is the Royal Seal. That means only the Assembly is authorized to address it. Grey Warden, you may pass.
You're letting in a traitor? And a foreigner? In the name of King Loghain, I demand that you execute this stain on the honor of Ferelden. You'll hear of this. King Loghain will see you quartered.
You are free to enter Orzammar, Grey Warden. Though I don't know what help you will find.
Atrast Vala, Warden. Your arrival is a mixed blessing. Fair journeys, Warden. Fair journeys, Warden.
If only you had come at a less troubled time.
Now that's a thing of beauty, daughter. If you work hard like Branka, all Orzammar will know your name.
Mother, I don't want to be like her.
Don't say that! Not to me, not to anyone. Now get back to the forge. I want to see more details.
Yes, Mother.
They say the Darkspawn have left for the surface.
For the love of Paragons, please. Spare a few bits for an old man. Bread? Please, sir. Just a bit of bread.
I trust Vala, Warden.
Show respect, Surfacer. You're in the Hall of Heroes, home to the best of us. Paragons, dwarves who achieve such greatness, they're considered ancestors even if they yet walk among us. If only we had one now. A unifier. A voice like that, there would be no dissension. Perhaps I don't want you to. A surfacer should not see us in this kind of disarray. Goodbye, Warden. I hope you're not needed.
I notice the sister has been spending a great deal of time with it.
With it? Ah, you mean him. I'm surprised you would notice such things.
I am made of rock. This does not make me dense.
I suppose not.
Does the sister not see a problem with serving two masters?
Ignoring the serving bit, I'll assume you mean the maker. I entered the chantry as a lay sister, but I never took vows. Even had I, the chantry doesn't prohibit two people from coming together in love.
I was told that the sister left behind the service of the Maker to journey here.
You never really leave the Maker, not in your heart.
That seems like an argument for infidelity.
You are very catty for a walking statue, you know that?
It has been mentioned.
It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew.
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
Not speak that way about the man who should be king! I won't have fighting in the Commons, especially in front of outsiders. When I find that son of a fool, I'll have him in the Legion. Vieta, Surfacer. I'm bid to let you walk the Commons, but keep your place. Warden or not, I want order. Surface problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the Assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Balin, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here. Surfacers appoint no paragons? Truly, you're lost in all that sky. They are the best of us, declared living ancestors. If you must be our warden, at least know us. Go to the Shaper of Memories in the Shaperate, the true bright spot in the Diamond Quarter. See, that's why I don't want you surfacers seeing our worst. You'll think that's all we are. The market is thin, but busy, and the tavern never closes. Bad blood is usually kept to the proving. Should toss Balin and Harrowmont in there, sort this all out in a hurry. Personal battles for honor and ancestor. I don't expect a surfacer to understand. If you must be our warden, at least know us. Go to the Shaper of Memories in the Shaperate, the true bright spot in the Diamond Quarter. They've caged themselves for fear of each other, As you've seen, keeping order down among us working people is dodgy. No place for a proper lord. Balin speaks through his second, Vartag Gavorn, in the Assembly. Lord Harrowmont speaks through Dulin Ferender from his estate. Yes, you should.
Big. I have heard much about the halls of the Dwarven kings, but the stories do it no justice. It is so strange, harsh, yet beautiful. And have you seen those tiny pig-like burrowing animals? They are adorable. I wish I could have one as a pet. But they must be hard to catch and... Oh, just ignore me. I'm so silly sometimes. Let's just go.
I understand the Swamp Witch is out to slay its own mother.
Entirely in self-defense.
So it claims. It could not have been its plan from the very beginning, then.
I knew nothing about my mother's intentions prior to finding the book. It was your notion I arranged that.
Unnecessary, considering it is the only one who can read the book. It could just as well be a journal or a book of recipes.
Would you like me to teach you how to read the book? Then you can see for yourself.
Now it is testing me.
Well, do you care enough to learn or no?
No, I do not care.
Then leave me be.
Topsiders? Good. Get some outside gold in here. Calm people down. Make them think we should open the gates for good. The more cracks in the old way, the better. That's what Balin stands for. Not your business, but I see where the gold is. He's the traditional pick, yet he wants a new way, whether some like it or not. Just as many say Harrowmont. Neither are paragons, and the scales being equal, I go with the promise of more trade. Can't find ore without splitting some stone. My investments are solid, I'll be fine. The Assembly has done us a favor. They've shown just how loose the sand is under our feet. It opens people to change. Orzammar will decide what we can or can't be. Blight may be imminent on the surface, but our warriors are well seasoned against dark spawn. There will be topsiders left for trade. There's no end to you. I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
Oh, how dear of you. Thank you so much.
Interesting. Interesting.
I'm to keep this, am I? Fine.
Why do the poor not rise up against their betters? This I never understood.
More enemies ahead. Very well. We'll get plenty of to hit.
I never liked this part.
Very well. It is begun. I shall do it. As you said. It is begun. Very well. Shall we go? I shall do it.
Your clothes are so fancy. Did you get them topside? My mam used to say they don't got no stone to protect them topside. If I go up there, I'm gonna fall into the sky. Yes. When my dad left, he never came back. Who's to say he didn't fall up, eh? Nugs? Yes. They don't got much meat on them, but down here you can't be picky. Better than nothing. Nuggets. Lots of people sell them here in Dust Town. What for? You going to cook them up yourself? Yeah, I can find a nug for you. Could even get one from outside the city. Those ones in the deeps don't eat as much garbage. I don't know what they eat, but they always seem healthier, you know? Shiny coats, bright eyes. How much you giving me? Don't know. Depends on how big a one I catch. Give me some time. I'll hunt him down for you.
What are you looking for? We got nothing to buy for the likes of you. Or maybe you wanted to sell. Of course.
I got him. He's all squirmy, but he's a big fella. $40 silver? Real silver? I could buy something proper with that. A good meal, maybe a real blanket. I knew you'd be good on your word. Nice doing business.
Oh, it's one of those subterranean bunny pigs. Oh, look at him. Come here, you. Thank you so much. You've made my day.
Maker's blessing on you, brother. Ah, it's a great pleasure to meet a fellow believer. I'm Brother Burkle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light.
Even in the very bowels of the earth, we hear no end of this chant.
And that is something to rejoice in, good sister. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar. The Shaper controls changes in Orzammar's structure and society. I need the Shaper of Memory's permission to open a prayer meeting. The Shaper of Memories controls the Shaperate, Orzammar's record system. Like the Chantry's historians, but more thorough. They track the births and lineage of every dwarf born in the city, every property sale, death in battle, marriage, or divorce. Oh, I'd hoped you'd say that. I can see the Maker's hand on your shoulder, guiding you always.
If this chantry could help just one person as much as it helped me, it's worth any trouble.
Please, let me know as soon as you've heard anything.
Did you see that fight? In the old days, those men would have been told to join the Legion of the Dead. At least then they'd put that anger to good use. Are you really a Grey Warden? I thought you'd be taller.
I hope that is someone being murdered and not simply singing.
Orzammar will fight alongside you, Warden.
The Swamp Witch has a great deal in common with my former master.
The Swamp Witch? How original.
The Swamp Witch has the same arrogance, the same air of cruelty. I would hate for it to have possession of my control rod, if it still worked, of course.
Let me tell you what you can do with your control rod, Gollum.
Is it telling me that if the rod did work, that it wouldn't want control over me?
I wouldn't go so far as that. I could, for instance, command you to go and jump in a lake. A very deep lake.
It fools no one. The Swamp Witch would control everything if it could. It would have us all dancing on its strings.
Oh, you know me too well, Gollum. Your revealing gaze has laid me bare.
I will be watching the Swamp Witch. It must not be trusted.
Now you're beginning to sound just like Alistair.
One day the Paragon Branco will return. Oh, and on that day, you could not have come to Orzammar at a worse time.
I miss old Indran. He was a good man. I miss old Indran. He was a good man.
No, I cannot. By the ancestors, watch where you're treading! Oh, sorry. I thought you were someone else. By the ancestors, watch where you're treading!
Well met, Grey Warden. I could never go to the surface. It must be so strange there.
Excuse me, do you have a moment?
I hope Lord Harrowmont wins. He always had better taste in clothes. I hope Lord Harrowmont wins. He always had better
Greetings, and welcome to Garen Garrison's luxury goods shop. Wow, there are a lot of you. And I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with. What was I saying? Right. Yeah, I have some lovely things here. Lyrium enhanced, of course.
Interesting. A fine gift. You have my thanks. What have you there? A mirror? It is just the same as the mirror which Flemeth smashed on the ground so long ago. It is incredible that you found one so like it. I am uncertain what to say. You must wish something in return, certainly. You say that as if I should be accustomed to such a thing. I have never received a gift, not one which did not come at a price. I suppose I should say thank you for the gift. 'Tis most thoughtful, truly. What comes, my friend? So, full of questions, are you?
You look like you're not from around here. Oh, wonderful! I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle? I've been trying to reach someone there for years. I've sent missives with every caravan, but I never get a reply. I want to know if they would accept me for study. No dwarf has ever studied at the Circle of Magi. I guess you never read First Enchanter Caitlin's treatise concerning dwarfs and the non-heritability of magic. He tested dwarfs from 20 bloodlines and found they couldn't perform any level of spell casting, regardless of lyrium exposure or time on the surface. The Circle speculates that lyrium in the stone shields us from spiritual influences, and over time made us immune to them. I want to go to the Circle to study.
I assure you that desire will depart the moment you arrive.
I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface. And the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing. That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcasts. Tell them I've already begun reading the Tevinter Imperiums for Tikum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child?
She's so enthusiastic and adorable. I'm glad we're helping her.
Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
I knew I should have stuck to common nugs. I've gone and lost them too. I'll never find them the way they skitter.
Common nugs? I don't like those. They look dirty.
No way I'm going back to that supplier in Dust Town. Guess I'm shutting it down. Good on you, stranger. Only need one to turn this around.
Ancestors, guard my son, for he is darkness. Mothers, keep him safe, for you know what it is.
Welcome to Jan-Ar Family Armorers. I must say, you look like our type of people. Looking for a new set of mail? At Jan-Ar's, we have everything from leather to platinum. For 100 generations. My father made his name by inventing a fall and tacet, which were integrated into the cuirass. But, I'm guessing by your face, you're not a smith yourself. I stay out of politics. It's not good for a smith to get the attention of those who grant vendors licenses. Lord Harrowmont's a fair man. My father did business with him, and he always paid on time. But the Idukans have served us well. If it is the ancestors' wisdom to keep them on the throne, I cannot object. Of course, keep in mind we also take items on trade.
Go on, I'm out of the nug game. Got nothing to sell. Gotta boil them before roasting, but otherwise no, safe as sand. Some people swear they make good pets. May as well leash a turnip, I say. Saraka, I'm back in the game, such as it is. I don't have much besides gratitude, but find a bunch more of these and I'll toss you whatever I found. You're the best wrangler I've ever seen, but there's more out there.
Ancestors guide your steps, Warden. That's excellent armor. Dwarven make?
You have come at a difficult
quickly
time.
makes itself evident no
Orzammar
matter
is
where
ailing
one
for
goes.
want of a king. You have come at a difficult time. Orzammar is ailing for want of a king.
News of the hour! Questions remain as to Lord Balin's involvement in King Endrin's death. Possibility of patricide scandal shocking.
Is it true there's civil war on the surface, too? Is it true there's civil war on the surface?
It's been a while since we saw a Grey Warden. I bet they're avoiding Orzammar because of all the trouble. No offense, but I've often wondered how you people get by with your awkwardly long limbs.
This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory. This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
A new offensive is required against the Darkspawn, says Lord Balin.
Good day, Grey Warden.
Old King Endrin would weep to see Orzammar in such a state.
I can't believe House Harrowmont would overstep itself like this.
Oh, it must be so cold up on the surface. How do you stand it? Oh, it must be so cold up on the surface.
I can't
How do you
believe House
stand it?
Harrowmont would overstep itself like this.
We are glad to have you here, Warden.
The Prince values your support, Warden.
You're wise to support the rightful king.
Thief! Who would dare take from the memories?
Are you with that warrior girl who's always here? Excuse me, I can't chat.
I hope you find what you're looking for. I hope you find what you're looking for.
It is over.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories. The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you. Ask, and I shall do my best to answer. All dwarves who die return to the stone as ancestors, to guide their families forever. But only one every few generations rises to Paragon. A Paragon is a dwarf whose accomplishments change Orzammar so much that the Assembly recognizes they've been born blessed. They are venerated as living ancestors and found a new noble house forever bearing their name. There is one Paragon of this generation, a woman named Branka. She was born a smith, but her inventions caught the Assembly's eye. Before she had seen 20 years, she created a smokeless coal. It could burn in a cave without vents and no one would choke from it. It earned her Paragon status. She went into the deep roads 2 years ago seeking out secrets of the ancient smiths. She never returned. We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the deep roads as theirs did above. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn. They were once our highways beneath the mountains. Now the darkspawn claim them and few venture there, except your order, who enter the deep roads when they retire, so they can die slaughtering as many darkspawn as possible. The Paragon Caradon, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle, but Caradon's tag is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more. Yes, we have only a few dozen left in Orzammar, and I do not recognize this one. Where did you find it? Every golem is precious to us. We'd pay a good sum for a new find.
I'd sooner jump into a pit of lava.
Unfortunate. Was there anything else? I must tell the rest of the Shaperate about this discovery. At the other side of the old empire, during the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Shirak is the only other city to outlast the Blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us. I will settle your mind if I can, Warden. Please, speak your mind. That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city. I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition? What sort of charities do you mean? Traditionally, that is their extended family's responsibility, but sometimes people fall through the cracks. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more? I will record this conversation in the memories. I hope I do not come to regret it.
Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shapered. What have we been reduced to? I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dusttown. They couldn't know the value.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research. I was looking for something about the Orton Tig. It was lost during the last Blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Orton, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Orton, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads. You're from the surface. What do you know about fighting Darkspawn? There aren't even any expeditions planned until they settle this election. Otherwise, you need special permission from the Assembly or some great lord. A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking, it's almost too much to hope.
Lord Balin is the voice of change and defense. Lord Harrowmont is the voice of stagnation and ruin.
News of the hour. 3 more clans endorse Lord Harrowmont as the true voice of the Dwarven folk. Is Paragon Hood far behind?
Have you seen my lunch? It's a piece of lichen bread with a spread of old cheese and shredded dried meat. I'm only asking because you never know who's going to get hungry. Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. Most people don't anymore. Well, maybe they're too polite to mention it. I had a little incident a few years back. Too much time with the raw lyrium ore, you know. Maybe it was a bad vein. I cut myself and the dust got straight in the blood. Since then, it's been a little hard for me to concentrate. Except when forging, then I'm straight as an arrow. Best work you've ever seen. Look around the shop. See for yourself. Of course we are. Weak surfacers like you touch the raw ore, and you'll bleed from your eyeballs in hours. Weird seeing how big you are. Even surface dwarves lose it. Us down here, though, we should be able to handle it just fine. Only not too much, and not every day, and not breathing the dust, and not direct in the blood. Ancestors' own bad luck. Right. Best in the trade, you know. I worked the ore myself.
Andraste teaches that patience is the child of wisdom, but I'm eager to hear if you've seen the Shaper. Oh, praise the Maker! You truly walk in the light, friend. I already found a convert among the merchants who offered his shop as a temporary chantry. It's just by the tapsters. Please, come to our first service.
Do you miss the life you once had, Shell? These centuries of memories you have lost?
Does it miss being within its mother's womb?
Do I... well, no. I don't remember that far back.
It is no different. My memory stretches only so far, and what went before is now lost.
And you remember nothing at all? Not even a little bit?
There are images, faces who I have no names for, places I remember being, but not where they are. Do I miss these things? They are without context. I feel only disquiet when I think of them.
Like dreams, then. When you awake, all the details have fled.
Is that what it is to dream? Then yes, perhaps it is like that.
How very sad. To discover your entire life has been a forgotten dream. I am so sorry.
You're the best wrangler I've ever seen, but there's more out there. You're the best wrangler I've ever seen, but there's more out there. You're the best wrangler I've ever seen, but there's more out there.
Grey Warden arrives in Orzammar. Romont.
Lord Haramont is a weak man, and he will be a weak king. Yes.
I trust valor.
Greetings.